so far. And then we're going
Yeah,
to.
where's my sponsored golden visa?
I know, right? I want my the Trump visa with
I
a
don't need a golden visa. I just want one.
Yeah, $5
I just want
million.
a flash one with
I
Trump's
know.
face on it.
Right. And then kind of go from there. So let's first start off with also thank you for liking, subscribing, and supporting the show. YouTube algorithm has not been very friendly to us as of late. Our growth is just
Because
flat.
of your foul language.
Probably. But if the show doesn't grow, we have no more show. We're giving the show about one more year. So January of 2026 is our second year anniversary. Then we're going to go to 2027 of January of 2027. And so we need to bring in more Patreon supporters and subs and things like that. So if you haven't supported the show or haven't shared the show, please do so. Every little bit counts. So let's go to Sora. Let's go there real quick. Okay. So I got access to Sora. And let's go to this dog being pulled over.
65 and a 40. Good afternoon. That's good. Just put it in park for me. You know why I pulled you over? Yeah, well, you're doing 65 and a 45 and you're a dog. You can't be driving. All right, hang tight. Don't take off. I'm going to need you. Good afternoon. That's good. Just put it in park.
Body cab one. Then there's, what else we got here? I made a few here. I made Pikachu is working 996 at TikTok and then gets an OpenAI
Monday through
offer.
Friday, 9 to 9, 6 days a week, just to finish this cuteness report. I'm fried. Huh? An email from OpenAI? Offer letter, Monday through Friday? I'm in. San Francisco, avocado toast, 9 to 9, 6 days a week.
It's kind of short. It doesn't let me fill the full video. So when they did the promo video for 2 minutes showing what Sora's capabilities are, they kind of the whole entire video was made by Sora, but they didn't kind of explain this was it was stitched together by editors. They made 3-4 second clips and stitched it together. So
did they stitch it, or did they just have access to a longer?
They did not. Okay, touche. They didn't confirm that in the video. So but for me,
I'm just curious if the model can stay coherent for a longer video.
Exactly. Here's one I did on Rick and Morty. We're reacting to the reactions of Sora 2. But I couldn't put in Sora respond to Yude going crazy and other people going crazy saying this thing's going to destroy society. They said you can't respond. You can't directly target third parties. So let's go.
Right. Yep. Morty, the only thing that's going to destroy humanity is the fact that somebody somewhere is taking anything this guy has to say seriously. Let me scroll. All right. Yep. Now it's the richest man alive whining about how Sora 2 doesn't give him an AI. Morty, the only thing that's going to...
It's not giving him an AI waifu bot.
You got to go straight for the punchline, man. You don't have time for the development.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. It's tough. So
how complex was your prompt to get that last short?
Oh, let me show you real quick here. Let me go here.
Humanity is the fact that Morty, the only...
didn't have to explain.
I just put Rick and Morty looking at reactions from people complaining about Sora 2 would destroy humanity. Rick says the only thing that will destroy humanity are the people taking anything this person has to say seriously. Now let me scroll through more. Okay, it's the richest man complaining about. I had AI girlfriends on there, but I guess it got clipped or something. So, anyways,
maybe it's a forbidden topic.
Yeah, it could be. So I thought it was pretty.
That they're going after TikTok and YouTube Shorts and Snap and I don't know.
Yeah,
but it's a really interesting product direction for OpenAI.
Right, exactly. So, what are your thoughts on it? Love to hear your other thoughts. I'm thinking this is part of just. It's great to get their name out there, go on the hype cycle, get people more focused on the technology. It took the wind out of the air out of the room for Nano Banana. Everyone was talking about Google's Nano Banana for a second, and then now this comes out, and people are focusing on this more.
I think OpenAI's product instincts are just perfect. I mean, they're just really good at capitalizing on both the characteristics of their models and the public reaction to what they tease or release. I mean, to your point about Nano Banana, the spike when that was introduced drove Gemini to be #1 on the Apple App Store. It wasn't. If you look at the trends, Gemini was just sort of doing okay for a long time, and then as soon as Nano Banana became a public phenomena, their position in the App Store just spiked. They got a huge amount of usage, and being Google, I think they're almost. I'm sort of putting words in their mouth, but they're sort of offended that people are that excited about a small image model. They want you to be excited about the core Gemini LLM and how powerful it is.
Yeah.
That's what they want to sell you.
Yeah. That's the
So
problem.
they didn't lean into it. They just sort of let this spike sort of happen. I guess the best thing they did was not try to fight with people about whether it was called nano banana or not. They sort of let the market rename it because it had a different name. But OpenAI, on the contrary, is saying, hey, if video is what people want, we're going to give it to them. If they want to record funny shorts that feature themselves and their friends, we're going to give them that. If the model is super expensive and therefore we have to limit the quality and the length of the generated videos, that will be part of the product. So they took the public reaction, the excitement, and the limits of the model and its costs, and they just combined them. You know, they got their chocolate and your peanut butter, and that's the shape of the product. So I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what you should do as an early stage startup.
Right. Give the people what they want. And
give the people what they want and lean into the strengths and avoid the weaknesses of your underlying tech. If the shorts are only a couple seconds long, it doesn't matter that your model can't maintain coherence for 15 minutes. You're just avoiding it completely.
Right.
And if generating the videos is super expensive, it doesn't matter if you limit their quality and their length, and if you maximize the sharing. Right? They know that most people will, beyond the initial trial, most people won't make videos. Only a handful of creators will make videos, and everyone else will just scroll to the next video that's recommended to them.
True.
Right? So that's just video playback. That's basically just building TikTok.
Yeah. And people want to consume. And then also people are going to touch your product and maybe give you 5 minutes. So if you're going for long form video, people wait for like 3, 5, 10 minutes for it to make a video. People aren't going to stay around.
Good point.
So 5, 10 seconds, get something out quickly. Like when Sora 1 came out, it was, okay, we're going to make something for you and we'll get back to you in 30, 45 minutes when it's ready. And I was like, okay, it's part of my job to do this stuff. But it's kiss death.
People got no time, no attention span for that sort of thing.
Yeah, but this was, I joined, it showed me videos already and said, you want to try to create something? And while you're here, watch what everyone people are doing. Perfect. Keep me entertained, keep me engaged.
Perfect. Keep you busy while your video is being generated.
Yeah.
And also just think of how much lower the bar is for creation on this platform compared to anything else. Like you don't have to even use the camera on your phone.
Right. You don't even, you don't have to go outside or anything. You just have an idea and go. Like for instance,
you just type something and let it rip.
Yeah. And it was great because I was just doing like a stream of consciousness and I had a few other ideas that I want to hit off. I had this one of, they might have got rid of it already, but it was Pikachu. There
back scanning. Charmander drops back scanning. He lets it fly deep. Pikachu tracks it, makes the grab at the 40. Bulbasaur closing fast. Pikachu spins away. He's gone into the end zone. Touch. Charmander drops back scanning.
Yeah, and then another one, Pikachu smoking a cigar. But that was all like I came up with was like 2 minutes, and it was just really easy to get the process going. Whereas Jesus, when I first started doing this YouTube channel, it's like, okay, here's all the equipment you need to buy, and you got to focus on like what you're going to talk about. And so Jesus
People
Christ,
are mad at you because your audio is not sufficient.
Oh, the audio isn't good enough, and your thumbnails aren't good enough, and the way you position the camera isn't good enough. Your lighting is bad. And this is just like type something in and have fun.
We don't like your recording videos from a shed.
Exactly. Right,
This
exactly.
just does it all for you.
Yeah.
Does it quick, and it really leans into the sharing aspect, which means most people are going to be passive viewers.
That's what you want. Yeah. And the media always immediately goes, okay, this is their TikTok killer or something. It's like, no. I don't think. I mean, I think it's cool. I think
it's going to compete with TikTok and Snap and what's the Reels. I mean, it's going to compete with all the other video platforms, including YouTube.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they're already negotiating a deal for ads.
That makes sense. So, yeah, I think it's cool.
I mean, people only have so much, time to pay attention in the day. And that's what they're effectively competing for.
That could be a good point. Saying, yeah, there's only you only have so much of that between meeting time to dick around, and so what's going to fill it up?
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, think about it. OpenAI in one step has opened up a second product line, not just another demo or another available feature, but a separate product kind of targeting a different group of people that also allows for revenue.
Mm-hmm.
Completely separate from everything else they've done.
Right. Yeah, and it'd be interesting. I was wondering, this is a separate product. There's the iPhone version of it. I'm using the desktop version. I wonder how this is going to maybe somehow connect to ChatGPT as some way of like, oh, you're just playing with this one product we had, but then maybe you want to get productive somewhere. Here's
Do you
a
think
connection
they
to
should connect
ChatGPT.
it?
I don't think what I mean is like not like they should be one app that would suck, but more of like how do we get people to, if you're already on Sora, is there ways for you to explore other things that we're doing here?
You want to get a piece of those, what is it, 700 million active users?
Yeah, or just people who aren't part of 7 million active users. Maybe they weren't, but this brings them to touching one of OpenAI's products. How do we get them into the rest of the ecosystem without hurting the Sora too? But at the same time, letting them know there's also more you can do with Gen AI on the LLM side for more productivity and things like that.
Yep.
So like I can imagine like maybe like my niece is using this and she's like creating all these cute videos, having a lot of fun with it over time, and she does more and more and more. And then as time goes on in her life, when she gets to the point of like she's like writing papers and things like that, there's like, oh, I've already been using OpenAI for this, maybe I can use OpenAI on the ChatGPT side for something more productive. But anyways, let's get Azim in here. Hey Azim, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, nice Death Star shirt.
I'm doing
T-shirt,
all right.
T-shirt, nice stuff.
Keeping busy as
Is
you
that
podcast.
Is that the targeting computer view, or is that just the Death Star? I can't see.
No, just the Death Star.
Oh, okay, fantastic, awesome. Yeah, wasn't a very good look when Sam Altman was like, "We're going to be launching GPT-5 next," and he shows the Death Star rising over like Alderaan. I'm like, that's not. If you wanted to be like, we're the rebels, the X-wings, okay, cool, but not we're the Death Star destroying a planet.
No media literacy, Jordan.
Yeah, that was bad. He's usually really good. So Azim, I used to work with him on the immigration. Well, I wasn't part of the immigration team, but he was my sister team that we roll up with the same director, and he was our immigration pro at Google, and he has been doing immigration for both of Trump's administrations. So it's been a very, very smooth ride. So H1B stuff came out, and it created a big kerfuffle. I wanted to bring you on here to kind of talk about first, like what have you been seeing in startups? What's going on here in the H1B world?
So a bunch of things are happening in H1B world. I think the thing people are talking about most is the $100,000 fee. But there's a bunch of other enforcement actions that are also happening in the background, as well as effectively like a weighted ranking based on wage. So this is not just a one-shot thing. This is a larger scale H1B overhaul that is sort of happening a little bit piecemeal and perhaps not as strategically as one would hope. So we're seeing some changes which may be good and some changes which are less effective, in my opinion. But we're seeing a very significant focus on that at this moment.
Joe, you had your head turned to the side.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear. I mean, I don't know if they've come out and said it, but what do you think is their goal with these changes?
That's a great question, Joe. I don't actually know what their goal is because there are other ways to get to similar results that are more effective. So, for example, I can't think of a single thing that $100,000 tax, which is effectively what it is on H1Bs, is more effective than coming up with a skills list and saying, hey, we'll only give you an H1B if you're doing a job where there aren't enough Americans to do the job, or we want to bring in the world's best talent. I just can't think of any reason why you would do that $100,000 tax instead of coming out and saying, hey, we really need brain surgeons. And so we want brain surgeons, and we actually need, AI engineers. And so we're going to bring in people who are at the cutting edge of artificial intelligence, robotics, machine learning. Those things make sense. Simply just slapping $100,000 tax on it, going to push those jobs elsewhere. And Jordan, I mentioned this a little bit to you, but the undercurrent we're hearing now is that there is a review of OPT, we'll call it. So the rumors that we're hearing is that OPT may be on its way out.
What's OPT again for people?
So OPT, for people who don't know or aren't familiar, is optional practical training. It's what you get when you finish a degree program in the US you'll typically get 1 year, and then you're eligible for additional years if you do a STEM degree. So OPT has long been controversial, at OPT being an open work permit. You could theoretically be taking American jobs if you want to frame it in that context. But it basically gives you an open work permit, which not everybody is very happy about, but it's a primary way for someone like, an entry-level engineer who's just graduated from a university to start a job somewhere at a tech firm and then get multiple shots at an H1B. So that was typically your path coming out of school, was that it gave you a little bit more runway. If you had, say, an English lit degree like I do, or a non-technical degree, you would have 1 year to get that H1B. It was basically one and done. So if you didn't get it, you're out. If you graduated with a STEM degree, you had a few more chances. And in the days when H1Bs were much harder to come by, this was something which gave you a little bit more runway before we needed to find a way to keep you employed, either by transferring you or, finding a workaround. So if that goes away, that would significantly reduce the number of folks we have in our talent pool. Because not only would you have a significant tax on H1Bs, but you wouldn't have students able to stay in the US after we'd spent all of this time and effort training you to do the jobs that we would want you to do.
Have they actually announced that it's going away, or is it sounds like it's going away?
A rumor at this point.
It's rumored.
It may not come to pass, but what we're hearing is that there are people who are not particularly fond of it. It's been under the microscope for a while, so it could change, it could go away, nothing could happen. I think this is a don't mess with the money situation. So, what are investors saying? What are campaign donors saying? How is it affecting their businesses? And so how is this going to push people to respond? So there's like what looks good optically, and then what actually works, and
right.
Business leaders want what works.
So those maple syrup producers who talk with their bubbly heads and say boot all the time, I know they want our talent. They want what we have in Silicon Valley. Are they making a play at what's going on? Or are other countries trying to say, hey, America's getting kind of squirrely with visas here, but our country wants you. Let's go.
100%. So, and that's been happening for a while. So I have had conversations in a previous life with other government officials, and their question was exactly that. How do we bring in the talent that you're bringing into the US today? What can we do to be more competitive? And a lot of those countries are already more competitive. Their regimes make more sense. The visa system is, and we probably haven't talked about it on the show, but the way that you typically get a visa in another country is that you prove that you don't have a local who can do the job, and then they issue the visa. And then if you stay, you may qualify for permanent residence and the ability to stay and potentially become a citizen down the road. In the US, you get the visa. Later, when you apply for a green card, we pretend that the job isn't already yours, and we ask for resumes. So a bunch of people waste their time applying for a job that doesn't actually exist. And only then, if we prove that we can't hire someone, do you get a green card. So basically, ass backwards. So if we do it the way that other countries did it, we would determine up front, hey, there are people who can do this job. Why are we issuing this visa? We don't do that until we've hit the green card stage, after money has been invested, time has been invested. We waste a bunch of job seeker time applying for jobs that aren't really available. So lots to improve. Other countries have seized on that. They're using skills lists and saying, hey, we want people in these fields. We want nurses, we want doctors. Australia went and said, hey, we need tradespeople. If you're a plumber or an electrician, move to Australia. So there are ways to do this in a very targeted fashion so that you're not just, opening the door, so to speak, but really looking at like, hey, what do we need here? What skills are we missing? Do we need teachers? Do we need professors? Do we need tradespeople? All of that's on the table. I think it's a question of, do you want to put the work in and actually build that system and do those unpopular overhauls that take time and effort? Or do you want to just say like, let's throw a Band-Aid on it and move on? And that has been, I think, the bipartisan consensus is that there's something that needs to be done about immigration, but we can't agree on what to do and how to do it. And so we just sort of band-aid over stuff.
Gotcha. We got a question from our supporters. Gary says, will big tech just eat the 100,000K tax, which startups may not be able to do? Thank you, Gary, and thank you for supporting the show.
Gary, that's a great question. So we don't actually know how this is going to be implemented yet. And that, I imagine, will trickle out over the next several weeks to months. A little bit of disagreement on how we think that's going to happen, but again, that's speculation, whether that goes through the notice and comment, which is where they post the proposed rule. People have time to comment on it, and then the government goes back and then establishes the final rule, or whether we're going to see more proclamations and executive orders. Doesn't make a huge difference just how they decide to go about it based on the administrative framework. But to answer your question, we know that in the proclamation, there is sort of a waiver available. We don't know what the qualifications are for that waiver. We expect that that will come out over time. Defense gets a little bit tricky because for a lot of defense projects, you need to be a permanent resident or a citizen because you need a security clearance. So I think we can assume that those projects not going to change, but companies that work on those projects and have civilian manufacturing, like say Boeing, may be able to get the waiver based on the fact that, hey, we need to, allocate all of our permanent residents and citizens to the defense projects. So we need H1Bs, and U.S. government, if you're not giving them to us, or we got to pay all this money, this is a huge disadvantage. So I expect we'll start to see some of that horse trading. Connections will make a difference. Campaign donations may make a difference, as is often the case. So we're still waiting to see how that works, but that is actually a huge problem because on this show in California, we often see this through a tech lens. There's doctors on H1Bs. There's a shortage of doctors. Private medical groups probably not going to have hundreds of thousands of dollars to pay for H1B visas. So we may start to see unintended consequences as a result of this $100,000 fee. And we're not really sure how that's going to get parsed out and who may be able to get a waiver and who won't. So yeah, your instinct is absolutely right. We may see smaller firms either get swallowed up because they can't compete or have to go without talent, or in worst cases, offshore their talent from the US because it's easier to get a visa, or they just go remote first.
Yeah, I saw reports. This is from I gotta get the name of this source right now. Oh God. Don't forget to like and subscribe. NPR. U.S. students' visa arrivals have been seeing a steep drop, including a significant decline from India, reaching a 4-year low in mid-2025, attributed to factors such as visa processing delays, intensified social media scrutiny, policy uncertainty, and visa revocations, which have led students to consider alternative destinations like UK, Germany, and Singapore. This trend threatens innovation and revenue for U.S. higher education and businesses that rely on international talent. Did we see anything similar happen in 2016? Because I'm wondering if, is this like a cyclical drop, or is this going to be something secular? Any thoughts on this?
Yeah, so that's a really interesting question. I can say, from my personal experience and that of several colleagues, what we saw in 2016 was a lot of people who had the option to get, let's say, equivalent jobs elsewhere. So if you were a French citizen and you had the opportunity to get a similar job in France or across the EU, if you're a Canadian citizen, Australian citizen, you were more inclined to say, yeah, I don't really want to deal with this uncertainty because I have another option that is, if not as well paying, at least as attractive or comparably attractive. The people who weren't that optimistic, who were going to go back and take a significant pay cut, if you're coming from India or China, your local pay scale is much less than you would make in the US. So those people were willing to stick it out because the quality of life increase, the income increase was so dramatic. They're going to come here because it's their best opportunity. So the outcome wasn't necessarily what people would have expected. But as that scrutiny grows, as there's more pressure on H1Bs, the largest people who apply for them are Indian and Chinese citizens. We're going to see some of those applicants fall away, either because the companies can't afford or won't pay the $100,000, or because the uncertainty just makes it less attractive when you can now get great jobs in Singapore, great jobs in Australia, great jobs in Europe, Canada. So it's going to be harder to compete. And I assume American companies are also going to see this and say, even if we can get a waiver, let's future-proof this and hire a bunch of these people in Toronto or in London or in Dublin, in Sydney instead, so we don't have to worry about when the pendulum is going to swing in the other direction.
Yeah, the multinational companies could dodge this by just hiring those people in other countries.
100%. And I'll tell you, Joe, they can also dodge it by hiring them abroad for a year and then bringing them over on a different visa. So
right.
Like
what fraction of all the work visas are H1Bs?
I don't know off the top of my head, but a significant number. So for most people, that is most global citizens, the best and only visa option for you will be an H1B. If you're not at like extraordinary talent level, like, they call it O1, the Nobel Prize visa. If you're not at that level, you don't work in an office for a US company abroad, your best bet is an H1B. It's an occupation that requires a degree or equivalent experience. The barrier is much lower. It's the most common work visa in the US. So for most people who don't have a treaty arrangement with the US, like Australians, Canadians, Mexicans do, it's their only choice. So that is going to put significant pressure on those folks who don't have alternative options.
Interesting. And is tech is the tech sector the hardest hit by this, or is there some other sector that's even worse?
So I think we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. We won't know until next year really how applications ebb and flow based on this new cost.
Mm-hmm.
But my suspicion is that Gary's exactly right. Like, it's going to start pushing people now to start making arrangements like, hey, do we need to set up an office somewhere else? Do we need to allocate a portion of our headcount for 2026 to a different office?
Right.
Absolutely.
Azim, thanks for getting us in. I know you have a hard stop at 12:30, so to
All
respect
good.
you on that. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. And we'll have to have you back on.
Yeah, anytime. Take care, guys.
I'll see you. Feel free to drop, and
Bye.
we'll see you later on. Joe, okay. Well, thank you, Azim, I'm glad to have Azim on.
What a
here.
disaster.
Yeah, it really is. It's a nice cluster. And we have about 750,000 active H1Bs in the United States as of 2025.
Yeah.
So a lot of folks there. Okay, so we got Sora. Let's go to Meta. Thinking about how it's going to begin to start making money off these LLM conversations, because that's important. Got to pay that CapEx back. Okay, Meta will begin using AI chatbot conversations to target ads. While users won't be able to opt out from the new policy, the content of some conversations will be automatically excluded. Meta platforms will start using people's conversations within its AI chatbot to help personalize ads and content, offering a glimpse of how the company intends to pay for its expensive artificial intelligence efforts. The policy, which is set to go into effect on September 16th, marks the crossing of a new frontier in digital privacy. The changes means that if users ask Meta's AI chatbot for nearby hiking recommendations, for instance, they might start seeing ads on Instagram and Facebook for hiking boots or other gear, as well as hiking-related content from creators in their feeds. While people don't want to be able to opt out from having their chats used for personalization, the content of some conversations will be automatically excluded. Conversations involve religious or political views, sexual orientation, health, and racial or ethnic origin won't be used to customize ads or content, the company said. Oh, shucks, because back in the day, when I was on Facebook, the only ads they had for me available were just like Ocho Brown person in a prison jumpsuit. It would say bail bonds. So I guess, unfortunately, we're evolving around that. That had a formative impact on my development. Chat's connected.
We've raised this concern for the last, decade? People have been complaining about this or wringing their hands over it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, doesn't everyone kind of expect now that anything they do on any Meta or Meta-related product is going to be used to target ads to them?
Yeah, paying with your eyeballs. So I mean, it's expected. It's like opening.
And everyone screamed and yelled about this, and Meta gave them the option to pay a monthly fee instead, and I'm pretty sure nobody took them up on it.
No, of course not. It's just like, I wonder if newspapers came out, when they first came out and they had advertising, if there was such like an alarm, like, how dare you put an ad on this piece of paper? And folks were just like, oh yeah, I'm getting this for a very cheap price, so ads here.
Well, that's a whole larger topic too, because the price of putting an ad in a national paper was quite extreme. Even a classified ad that was limited just to one town was like hundreds of dollars.
Mhm.
Whereas you can put an ad on Facebook or on Google properties really cheap, and it can be global.
Right. Facebook Marketplace, use it all the time. I use it to fill tenancies, and it's been free, so it's been fantastic. And you can just target to exactly what you need. But for local rags, if you want a classified ad back the day, I think the last time I did it was when I did the state sale back in like 2011. It was like $125 or something, and that was like a few sentences. So I was like, wow.
Yeah,
you
like
know.
a tiny little text-only classified ad.
Mhm.
And if you wanted to put an image or a branded sort of spot in the yellow pages or something like that, it was quite expensive.
Yeah. So
And to find one of those ads was incredibly painful for the customer.
right. So yeah, we've come a long way.
But we're just breathlessly beside ourselves that Facebook might use your activity on one product to advertise to you on a different product.
Yeah, it's just
Like,
it's just
really?
expected.
We're still worried about that?
Right. Yeah, I think it's
Like,
just
who's really worried about
no,
that?
it's tyranny. One, it's just, let's you and him fight. The news needs a story.
It's you and him fight,
Second thing is just there's the tyranny of the minority of these
right? Tyranny of the minority.
hardcore privacy security folks in these organizations who are always up in arms when rest of the folks are just like, oh, you see Pikachu on Sora? That was really cool. Like no one else.
Also the
really
moral panic, right?
Exactly. Like, I wrote a post on LinkedIn. I was saying, because of those folks, now every time I go to a website, I got to accept cookies, and yet I've not received any cookies, and I have all this milk. And then second thing, now California passed their own
You
version
need
of
some milk.
exactly passed their own version of GDPR, where now when I call our garbage company for a special pickup of a couch or whatnot, it starts off with 20 seconds saying, due to the California Privacy Act, we want you to know that your garbage company that already has your information and your location and picks up your trash every Thursday might get more information about you in this phone call. It's like, yes, because the whole entire point. I'm telling you to come to my house and pick something up. Like, why do I need this? Like, opt out.
You need it because they want your local legislators want you to know that they're doing things on your behalf. They're looking out for you, the little man.
How dare you? Yeah, how dare they do this? Make my life easier like this. So,
Also, you're going to need to click through a lot of cookie banners.
yeah, click a lot of cookie banners. It's gonna waste society's time at scale. It doesn't go away for like decades, if that. And it's just really
Some economists should do a calculation on that. They probably already have.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the total cost to the economy of billions of people around the world clicking on cookie banners all the time?
Cookie banner, GDPR acceptance. Hold, please.
To no real benefit.
Hope you enjoyed this episode of the SVIC Podcast. You can support us, patreon.com/SVIC. The cost of GDPR cookie banner acceptance includes one-time implementation, ongoing. No.
We don't want to know about the cost.
No, it's Google.
People who have to make the damn banners.
Want to know societal cost in time lost. There you go.
We want GDP-wide calculation.
The fact that I had to clarify is the LLM. It's Google's LLM. Jesus Christ.
That's what you get for using Gemini.
I know. How dare I? Research suggests that the societal cost of time lost to cookie banners is substantial, with a European Union analysis estimated to be 575 million hours annually. This translates to billions of euros in lost productivity. Wes says, me and Dylan can join in if you guys are ready. Oh, you certainly can join.
Jump in, man.
Yes. Do we have you should have the right
from this discussion of cookie banners.
Exactly. It's a new low. You're not on WhatsApp. Let me see if I can WhatsApp you guys the link real quick. Yeah. So we got that going on. Let's see.
What else is on your list of hideous stories of the day?
I wanted to talk about how well dressed the lady from the company that just recently committed SEC violations on her startup. How well dressed she was going into court. Like it's like a fashion statement. Like, look at her, just perfect. Got the glasses and the shirt and the blouse, everything. I want to look that. I hope I look that good.
That's how she raised so much money.
Exactly. Startup founder Charlie Gervais sentenced to more than 7 years for defrauding J.P. Morgan.
She's getting sued because she sold her company to J.P. Morgan.
Yeah, she sold it and she made up all the customers. She went and reached out to some computer science people.
Were happy. It's the acquirer that's pissed off.
Exactly. So
and then the question is, like, what kind of due diligence did they do?
Exactly. Put their finger at good enough.
You'd think they would have called at least a few customers to make sure they were real.
Exactly. That assumes a lot. That takes a lot of work, actually. Okay. Let me see if I can get Dylan in here real quick.
Yeah,
and
where
Wes real
are
quick.
Wes and Dylan? What kind of technology problems are we having?
I know it's of course it's a sick podcast. It wouldn't if there's no technology problems here. It just wouldn't be feel like a regular show. Sent to you guys via email.
How
Okay.
far away are we from the point where Sora, next generation is able to just create our show from a prompt?
Hopefully soon. But the only issue is all the cuss words and shit talking. They were against that, so I think we're gonna have job security for a very long time, unless Elon gets to it. There's an XAI version.
You saw the All In guys talking about how some of their videos got banned, and they had a whole conspiracy theory against YouTube, right?
Oh please, what was the recent saw?
Their theory, it was some kind of political axe to grind, at YouTube, didn't like them because they were getting involved in politics or whatever. So they said all this stuff on their podcasts for several weeks in a row. Finally, I think the guy who was the ex Google product manager guy connected with someone at YouTube to straighten it out. And it turns out the only problem was they were using profanity in a bunch of episodes, and they switched from bleeping it to, I think, just quieting the audio, so their
Yeah.
mouth would still say the whatever profanity was happening.
Oh, so people could still see it. Yeah.
And then YouTube would ban that episode because it had profanity in it. Hey, Wes.
Oh.
How you guys doing?
Hey, well, it's doing good. But to finish up, Joe, again, the conspiracy. They always go with the conspiracy theory first of like, yes, Sundar's
Yes,
individually.
they jumped straight to conspiracy theory, which is how they probably got Google's attention, right? So
Yeah, Sundar. Well, that was
fault them.
Yeah, well, I look at it also. They're so highly connected. They're like 1 or 2 phone calls away from any heavy hitter in that company. And so instead, it's like, what's good for ratings? Let's say there's a conspiracy against us, because Jordan Peterson did the same thing at Google. He said that we was getting banned by Google. His videos were, and then I know a guy who worked for the Talks program who literally was like working behind the scenes with the YouTube team. They're like, no, there's nothing going on here, and they were telling Jordan this in email, like, there's no. We're not blocking you. And he's like, well, this is still
But he
a
had
conspiracy.
traction with the conspiracy theory.
Exactly. Got to keep running with it. You can't
I don't think we're
so.
big enough to use that strategy.
No,
but maybe
we're not.
Wes is.
Yeah, maybe Wes is, definitely. But
Google is against me. I know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
You got to start a whole conspiracy, like why they're against you. And it's got to have, a sort of a plausible theory behind it.
It all started in high school. You were like the best in football, but there's a product manager at YouTube who was a coach. He just didn't like you. He didn't want to win the season and championship.
Right.
He hated you so much that he decided to bench you. And now it's coming on to this day where he's like blocking your channel.
I'll have
maybe you were doing
write up a
advertisement
backstory
for Bing for a while.
Yeah, you used Bing probably. Jesus.
You had a Bing sponsorship, and now they hate you.
Right. So Sora 2 came out. What do you think about Wes? You probably played around with it a lot, or maybe you can share some of your favorite videos you've made.
Yes, I'm apparently going viral on Sora or something. Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. Just started posting some stuff. Yeah, so Sora, it's very interesting that they decided to do it almost as a social network, which is definitely very interesting. When Meta posted that they're doing something similar, and YouTube announced that they're going to be incorporating VO3 into Shorts. Like my initial reaction was kind of like, no, this is bad. This is kind of AI slop. Here, it's a little bit different. It feels different. A lot of people are posting memes about it. It's like, just because OpenAI is doing it, I think people are more welcoming. But I think really it's that Cameo thing. So I don't know if you guys have looked at how the Cameo works. Hey, Dylan.
Yo, what up?
What's going on? Yeah, we're just talking about the Sora thing. But with the Cameo thing, you just record it's like 30 seconds or less. You point the camera at your face. You got to have an iPhone. I went out and I bought an iPhone just for this occasion because
wow,
yeah,
bling,
that
bling.
is
Guys got
wow.
Switching
ecosystems just for Sora.
Yeah, I use Pixels all the time. Just Pixel, Android, and
no wonder you're banned on YouTube.
There you go. Yeah. And so basically, you look at it. You say there's some numbers you got to say. And then you look left, right, whatever it tells you. And then it takes a minute, and then it creates your sort of likeness. And then you're able to make yourself do whatever you want. And similar to, I guess, I don't know, Google Docs, Google Sheets, you can sort of, now that I think about it, it's exactly how Google Circles were back in the days. So you can allow just your followers permission to use your likeness, or
You deserve to be banned on Google.
Don't bring
products.
that up, please, God.
Bring
Don't
that up.
talk.
It
We were
has
tortured
potential.
internally. Our bonuses were tied to that piece of shit. Anyways,
Oh man, I'm so sorry. I'm sure it's gonna make a comeback, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, any day now.
It's over.
Getting traction. No, but yeah, and so I just recently did something that I'm sure I'm gonna regret, and I set my likeness to be able to be used by everyone. And
Oh, you did it.
I'm gonna regret this.
You're in the public domain now.
Exactly.
Now
Now I can
model of you. We can make you do or say whatever we want.
I'm hoping so. The thing is, the biggest person on that thing was Sam Altman for a while, and everybody's just making him do and say all sorts of stuff. So I haven't seen anything. I've seen a few things.
was doing pretty good.
iJustine was doing great.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is I haven't seen too many highly inappropriate things. Once or twice I was like, okay, somebody managed to. This is going to get reported and blocked. And a few were kind of like borderline, but I was surprised how with the sheer amount of people trying to get him to do bad stuff, it seems like they were able to not allow that. And there's custom instructions, so I'm going to be testing out how that works. Because there's one pathway I found people want to attack vector, and I think if you can use custom instructions to eliminate that, I think you should be fine.
All right. Are you guys on it? What kind of content have you been creating?
Oh, yeah, I've created, I always start with Pokemon tests because I'm addicted to that stuff. So Pokemon playing football, and then Pikachu working a 996 job at TikTok in Taiwan and being depressed, and then getting an offer letter from OpenAI to come to America and be happy again. So he's doing 5 days a week at OpenAI, so he's much happier.
But he needs $100,000 for his H1B visa.
That's the problem. So right now he's trying to get married. So we'll see how it works out. And then I did another one on Rick and Morty responding to people bitching about Sora 2 destroying society. Because those anytime a new AI product comes out, someone just has just a template. X AI products destroying society, and it was never the same again. And it's like we've seen this in the 90s with video games. Like, please stop. Like
the moral panic.
The moral panic. Someone please think of the children.
Dylan, do you have a key for this thing?
A key I do not have, but I will say I got myself locked into this long sort of shower thought last night that there's so much opportunity because so I was looking at Wes's channel, right? Or his what do you call it, Sora handle or whatever. And it's like it's him, he's like surfing, he's like doing some funny stuff. But to me, this is the golden opportunity to build some kind of a character, some kind of an influencer, some kind of a vibe. And it just seemed like we almost never get the chance to be part of a brand new social network. I mean, the app is already installed on millions of phones. Tons of people are going to come over to this new Sora app. And I do feel like short form is slowly going to be like taken out by AI, and the model is like just about there. So I was really trying to think hard about not just throwing out garbage, but something that's going to like build towards something. And I was sort of weighing options. So I was pretty frozen actually, because I was like, I don't know if I should really put some effort into something right now. It feels like a special moment. Maybe not, but
you're in analysis paralysis.
Yeah, kind of. You can do anything, I'm paralyzed by that empty sheet of paper, that blank screen in front of me.
The whole point of these generative systems was supposed to be to get you over the blank sheet of paper problem.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Just generate something funny. I'll just type that in and see what it does.
Do they have any mechanics like for saying one video should follow another? Or I think they have a mechanic for mentioning people, right?
Yeah, you can mention. Yeah, you can put them in. So just really fast. So sounds like another model that's available to ChatGPT Pro users, where you're able to create a higher resolution. So if you're a ChatGPT Pro user, you go into ChatGPT, or not into the Sora 2 social network, but the other thing, whatever, you're able to create the higher resolution, better, whatever. And these are like a little bit like the faster ones. So
yeah, so I have the Pro account. So I was generating a lot of magic, like people doing street magic, like David Blaine style stuff with it. And it was, when it got it wrong, it got it really wrong. And when it got it right, it was pretty cool. So
sounds like you think this is going to be a serious challenge to, I don't know, TikTok or Reels or YouTube Shorts or whatever.
I do. I mean, Obviously, we could be wrong, but I mean, ChatGPT is an app that's on a lot of phones. OpenAI and the way Sam Altman thinks about like tying all this stuff together in the long run has like very real parallels to the way Elon thinks and the way he ties everything together. And it just feels like an opportunity that Sam wants almost like personal, and it just also feels like they are in the right spot to skate where the puck is going because, yeah, I mean, I've already been worried about AI eventually just sort of replacing all of us. Like we're going to have, people who can replace us with 24-hour smarter.
We're counting on it.
Better.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. Like we're the in-between man. Like, Uber's eventually going to get rid of the drivers. Like eventually TikTok is trying to get rid of the creators. And I feel like Sam's like, why not? Just like with micro hard, there's just skip the whole thing. Like just go right to the AI company. And it might be small now, but it's a seed that can grow. And where else? Also, even if you add it to any of your other accounts, you're still sort of stuck in the cluster of audience that you were before. Like this is a really new time to actually like just be the first to a whole new like whatever you define yourself as right now, that whole genre, like gaming or like makeup influencing or whatever it is, that whole genre is being created on their ecosystem for the first time.
Right. Your point is it's a green field. You could go in and do something new and sort of stake out your brand or your identity there.
Exactly.
So one thing, so we talked to Ed Sachi from the simulation, but he's, I guess, pretty well known in the Bay Area in that startup circle, et cetera. Like you guys have heard of him. He's sort of a well-known name, right? So he definitely shifted my views on some things because even during the interview, I was just kind of like realizing I'm not fully grasping like his big vision for it. He was saying how with the simulation, like you're able to create AI models that, for example, for Star Trek, and then anybody can come in and do their own episode of Star Trek. And I was like, oh yeah, but people are going to sort of ruin it. They're going to make Picard do all sorts of silly stuff. And he's like, no, the model will sort of create congruency. So yeah. So it's almost going to be like baked in that you can't just sort of drag down the thing. There's a certain world consistency that has to happen. So if you want to create something that's like sort of canonical, so to speak, underneath that umbrella, you're welcome to. And if not, then not. And then a few days later, we get the leak, and I haven't read the full paper yet, but it sounds like with Sora 2, Sam Altman saying to Hollywood, hey, you got to opt out. Like, we're going to use all of your stuff unless you opt out. Or I haven't read that thing yet, so maybe I'm misunderstanding it. And some of the commentators were saying that maybe people would be afraid, like IPs would be afraid to opt out because they want to be participating in that, because it could be almost like a, if you opt out, you lose that chance of being in the spotlight. And with this thing, it almost seems like a first stab at this. So I can create my likeness and then give it to people to use as I see fit. And with custom instructions, I haven't tested it yet, but it sounds like I could even say, okay, don't put me in compromising positions or whatever. You know what I mean?
No,
so we'll see how much fun out of it.
Never bent me over.
I already took a shot at this here. So
all right, time to make some thumbnails.
Oh no, crap! I should have said that.
3, 2, 1. I like the pop.
Oh, nice.
The outline, add that arrow. Now some big text. Boom, that's looking. All right, time.
I didn't have the crying came in there, but yeah, it was that quick. I was able to. By the time you told me, you put your likeness in there.
I should have known.
Burst out the gate.
Do you think that? I mean, for Jordan, that was like challenge accepted. When you said that you had put your model on there, and you hope that nobody did anything to. My first thought was Jordan is going to have a good time with your model.
Yeah.
You gave the keys to the supercar to the wrong guy.
So do you also know that Wes can see your private videos with him in it too, though? So even if you didn't publish it, I think he gets access to even the ones that are like in your draft. So
now he knows all my kink.
You used his
he knows all my kink now. I'm screwed.
He knows all your secrets. I think, Wes, going to your point about Hollywood, that sort of connects back to what Dylan was saying about the greenfield, right? Like if this app works out and becomes a platform, one thing OpenAI is saying to Hollywood is you better play along or you're going to miss out on the next big thing, because we're not going to just do this one. We're going to do a couple more. I'm like, playable video games are right behind this, right?
Absolutely. And yeah, we talked with Sachi about the idea of the playable video games, and also the idea that, if you're watching some show on Netflix, you can upload, say, okay, put me in an episode, right? So in your
Yeah.
likeness, you start appearing in there. Maybe just really fast for people that maybe haven't seen it. Let me just, maybe if you guys don't mind, let me share a few of kind of what I've generated over the last day or so. So let me share my screen. And in order to be able to hear audio, I need to share. Okay. Yeah, this should work. All right. So there we go. Okay. So this is my profile, Wes Roth. Follow me. I'm trying to make it big on there. So this was my first generation. So everybody was concerned that Pikachu is going to be taken down rather quickly, right? Because they're going to opt out. Nintendo's going to opt out. They're very litigious with it. Or is it Nintendo? I guess it's not Nintendo, but Mario and stuff like that. So this is my first attempt to make a video with Pikachu.
Backing up paper, rubber band snap. 100 on 100, let the bankroll clap. Gold on my neck, let the light reflect. Wallet so heavy, it's breaking my step. Cash in the air like storm on.
All right.
Palm in the parking lot.
The drop was perfect.
I thought that was pretty good. It's surprisingly good.
Really good.
At the wraps, and then I'm missing one where I made Sam Altman do something interesting. I guess I should look at my posts. Let's see. This was my first. So this is Sam Altman being very nerdy about a game of Dungeons and Dragons.
Look at the book right here. If you use your reaction to ready a spell, that reaction is spent. Page 193 of the player's handbook. You can't ready Fireball and then still cast Shield in the same round. It literally says when you take the ready action, you use your reaction to cast the spell. Look at the book right here.
So basically the idea is that, anybody that gives you permission to use their likeness, you can kind of put them in whatever situation that you want. And then, you can make them angry. I was surprised how realistic. This was before I figured out how to do my voice properly.
Every single one of you out here is fake AI. You're just scripts walking around. Yeah, you, all of you. You're not real.
Man,
even you with the dog synthetic code, every line of it. I'm the only.
How'd you get some other voice?
No. So basically, initially, I guess I was recording, but because my voice was a little bit off, or the audio recording was a little bit off during that 15-second clip of me or whatever, it didn't sound like me. But later, I just held the phone closer. I made sure I was in a room without too much reverb, and it came out very, very well. So you just got to get a little, test it out a few times. But yeah, let's see what else. This is Matt Wolf. So he shared his thing with, I think, everybody.
Look at that. Hey, let's give this a try. Whoa, I'm actually off the ground. Just going to cruise around a bit. This feels wild.
So you can sort of take them and do whatever. This is Riley Brown.
100's on, radio's clear. Ready to roll.
Copy. Pit lane is green.
Launching now.
Right, and I think this is where it gets really interesting, because the rest of the stuff with Minecraft or whatever, that's like what people refer to as AI slop. I don't think that's going to be as interesting for people. And of course, everybody's going to generate images with themselves in video games and whatever. Really, where I think it's going to shine is the collab. Why don't I have a collab? I have one with me and Sam Altman, for example, right? So that's where I think it's really going to shine, where you're going to be able to take other people that allow you to use their likeness and create some sort of a story or something like that. I'm missing a few on here. I'm not sure why.
But crossing the streams.
Yeah. So anyways,
I
that's
thought
kind of
Riley
my
Brown would have done an episode where he vibe coded the entire Sora 2 release.
Yeah, he got funded. Apparently, he's recently got funded. He's building something.
Yeah, dude, he's a business guy.
That guy has vibe coded so many apps. I've only been able to watch like 2 of probably 20 that I have queued up. But he's constantly vibe coding something and inviting some guest where they don't. I mean, a guest usually is an engineer, but I don't think he is, right? Like, he can't code himself.
I don't think so. I think he has a little bit of a tech back. I mean, he knows a little bit about the tech, but he's not, like an engineer.
But he keeps building these full-on apps and then uploading them to the App Store. I'm like, how are people still programming the old way with this guy?
Yeah, it's very interesting. And then, who is the guy? I'm blanking on the name. Let me look it up, because the guy that was kind of saying that vibe coding is not going to work recently coded up a game. It sounds like. I'm blanking. Let me give me a second. On YouTube, he's also on the streamer. He's also a streamer on Twitch. He was on Netflix apparently.
The Prime Gen.
Oh yeah, the
Prime Gen. Yeah. So I didn't see the video, but it sounds like they managed to get some sort of a tower defense game vibe coded. So I got to check out that video. I'd be curious to know what his thoughts are. I mean, are we getting to the point where, yeah, it's a little bit more viable?
Yeah, if it starts winning over the skeptics, that's a pretty good sign.
Yeah.
And the most recent Claude Sora 4.5, is that the version number?
Yeah, the new Claude.
It's supposed to be really good at coding, right? Like as if previous ones weren't good enough.
Yeah, no, it took the top benchmarks above GPT-5 on I don't know, all the like SW or whatever that one's called. Yeah, all those benchmarks that seem to have the lead.
And there's it seems like some people are pushing back saying it's not quite as good. I've used it a little bit underwhelming just in my few initial tests. But it versus the Opus, but it's so much less expensive if you're using the API and stuff like that.
And
Sonnet's gonna be a lot. Yeah. And
Have
faster.
you guys tried vibe coding a significant app from scratch?
Not really. I mean,
significant,
if
no.
Like games that are playable but not really fully fleshed out. We've interviewed some people that did, but not really. I'm still kind of waiting. It seems to be getting better and better each time, so I'm kind of waiting for it to.
Yeah, I own part of a game studio, and like we have all of our engineers using Codex and Claude, and it's like we're not going to vibe code the whole thing anytime soon, especially with the security issues and everything. But is it helpful? Absolutely. And is it getting way better at document? In fact, we just made a new partner had to make all these kind of internal updates, and there's like no documentation for it. And GPT-5 was the Codex model was great at writing the documentation that our partner probably should have had, So there's some places where it is making a huge difference, even if you're not vibe coding the whole thing.
Yeah, we had Soli Omar on here. He had a company called Cognosis, and it got acquired by Cohere. And he was saying that just the way that when he jumps into a new database or a new code repository, he uses the LLMs to analyze what's going on, and then he uses ChatGPT's or OpenAI's version of Codex in conjunction with Claude. He uses OpenAI's version is more of a deeper thinker for like long-term like features he's going to build or whatnot, but then uses Claude more for day-to-day. But he feels like it just turbocharges coding ability, and he feels like he's more of someone just doing coding review more and less of doing the grunt work. So interesting to see how this is all shaping up. Well, we hit 1 o'clock. We got to bounce. Y'all check out Wes and Dylan's channel. They do really good work. Thank you both for jumping on. Wes, thank you for putting your likeness onto Sora 2. Everyone should make your favorite Wes videos and start tagging him.
Taking one for the team.
Exactly. We appreciate it. We hope you go viral. That Pikachu wrap looked great. And thank you all for watching. We'll be back on Friday at noon. And we'll see you all later. If Dylan and Wes can hang on for a bit, we'll see you in a second.
Okay.
Cool.